In this video, I'm exploring the Kyoto National Gardens. This is where you can find the historic site of the Japanese Imperial Palace, and this is where the emperors lived for around 1,200 years. I'll also be exploring some temples in northern Kyoto that are again over 1,000 years old. Pretty crazy. If you have the opportunity to take a piss in the royal residences, you have to, right? So I'm currently walking around the Kyoto National Garden, which is the site of the former Imperial Palace and the princely estates, the princely residences. So like the Imperial Palace was built here in the Edo period, and you have the Imperial family, right, which is like the Emperor and his immediate family. But then you have the princely families as well, which are like, you know, obviously if you're in the Imperial family and you have a lot of kids, and there's going to be, you know, an ever-expanding cast of characters within like the royal family and that. So what would happen is they basically create new branches of the family that would sort of maintain similar sort of societal privileges, but obviously still be like far enough removed from the imperial lineage that they would never themselves inherit it and never themselves become the emperor. So the temple I was just in is the see if I can remember it. Matakana Sanyoshi. Matakana Sanyoshi, I think. I have to look it up. But it's a temple to the three goddesses of the ocean, which apparently I read a sign, alright? Apparently are responsible for the like all of the travel that goes along the roads and all of the trade that goes along the ocean, and you know, they're like responsible for trade and commerce and all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. But apparently the shrine was, according to the legends, first established in 795, which is interesting because that was around I think that was the time when the capital here was established at Heian. Heian being the ancient name for Kyoto, roughly translating to the tranquil city. So this is now the actual Imperial Palace, right? Kind of interesting, talking about how like that behind me was first built in 1915 because traditionally the emperor would arrive in a palanquin, just like a hand-drawn carriage, but they switched to a horse-drawn carriage in the 1900s, so they needed to build a bigger entryway for him. That's pretty interesting. So the whole complex here is like Edo period. This is built around like the 1700s, I think. But what's interesting is whenever you read about a lot of this, like Japanese historical monuments, not only do they have to replace like the wood on all the buildings every now and then, so you know, it's kind of like a living building rather than like they built it once and now it's there. It's like it's constantly having pieces taken out and new pieces put in. But a lot of them just straight up catch fire and burn down, and so they have to build it again. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened with this one, is at some point the whole thing caught on fire, burnt down, and they had to build a new one. So kind of interesting. So the building here, so it's meant to be built to look like the kinds of buildings that they had during Heian, Kyoto, during the Heian period. It was built in the Meiji period. So like you had this like new period of Japanese history that was involving a massive period of industrialization and everything. They're also trying to restore a lot of like the cultural heritage and cultural tradition that sort of had dissipated during the Tokugawa shogunate. But it's kind of interesting because even though the imperial residents moved to Tokyo, during the Meiji period, they still used these old palaces for the traditional ceremonies. It's things like, crowning new emperor. Alright, so that was the Imperial Palace at Kyoto. There's actually two, and I couldn't quite figure out what the difference between the two is, but that's the main one. Here's the other one, and when I went up to it, the lady was saying like, you can't just walk in, you need to get a guided tour. And the tour takes about an hour. But the way she said it sort of had a vibe of like, this isn't for riffraff, go away please. So I was like, alright, I'll leave you alone, I'm sorry. But it's quite interesting. It's funny how a lot of the buildings, it'll sort of say on the description, well, this was originally built in, 1385. It was used for all sorts of things throughout history, very important. And then it burned down in 1954 and had to be rebuilt in 1958. So it's not that ancient, is it? But it's just, I guess, the consequences of building everything out of wood is that stuff catches fire. You see, the thing is, people want walkable cities, but I don't want to live in a box in the sky. Don't you know the freedom of driving a car? This is 5 minutes from a friggin' train station. I walked here. People have yards, they have garages, they have all sorts, bro. What are you people on about? You make me so mad. So the shrine I just went into is older than Japanese history, so it's older than written history. Well over 1,000 years old. So nobody really knows when it was built, so it's potentially the oldest shrine in all of Kyoto, but who knows? Nobody knows. One problem I'm having now is that that place didn't have a bathroom. None of these parks have had a bathroom. And I really need to pee. And I think everywhere where I could possibly go pee is either sacred or like a children's park. So I'm in a bit of a pickle. Alright, we found a bit of hopefully not sacred forest. So we're good. We're good. This is quite interesting. It's not what I expected at all. It seems like with the Shinto shrines, they like have a lot more, like they have markets going on in them. Like there was another one in the main part of the city where they had markets and everything. And like it's quite loud comparatively, like it's still Japan. So it's not that loud, but it's comparatively loud. Yeah, all the buildings are a lot smaller than the Buddhist temples as well. So the Buddhist temples, they have these big massive buildings and everything's really quiet. They don't have horses. Yeah, everything's very quiet, very respectful, very tranquil. But the Shinto shrines, they got like markets. It's like a hustle and a bustle, and I don't know. It's interesting to see that difference. I wonder what goes into that, like religiously. The horse.
Thank you.
Thank you. Arigato. Oh, I love Shintoism. I just fit a horse. I bought a small wooden horse. This is sick. Hell yeah. Oh, fire. Well, I think that's my favorite spot in Kyoto so far. Just like a really good vibe. Everybody's like, seems like they're having a great time. Which is like the opposite of like the Buddhist stuff where it's very quiet. And it's all, yeah, very, very tranquil, I guess is the word. Which is like, it's nice and relaxing, but this is like, it's almost like a party. And everyone seems very happy and all that, so it's cool. It's really cool. I bought like a blessing thing. I hope it's for good health because I need that. I got this one. It's got a turtle and a snake, which is pretty great. You gotta respect that. Oh, hopefully I just put myself in good with the gods. Shrine as well. It was first established in 678, I think they said, which predates all Japanese writing as far as I believe. So this is about as old as it gets in terms of like temple site in Japan. It's interesting to sort of see the difference between the Shinto shrines and the Buddhist temples, like I said before, because it's like Shintoism would basically map on to the Western concept of paganism, where it's the sort of traditional religious beliefs of Japan. They've sort of been codified into a religious structure. And like I've said before, Shintoism and Buddhism are not mutually exclusive, so you can be a practitioner of both religious beliefs, and I think most people are in Japan. It's similar to in Taiwan. Most people follow some combination of Taoism and Buddhism.
Hi guys.
Hello. Great. Yeah, most people follow some sort of combination. This is a cool one. It's just like chain restaurant ramen. It's pretty damn good. And I got some dumplings, although that might be too much. Can't really go wrong with dumplings. I mean, they're alright. Yeah, so all that together ended up, all of that together ended up costing me 1,600 yen. So, not super cheap, but I did order a lot of food, so, you know, it is totally my fault. Honest Kyoto review. So I'm leaving Kyoto now, going down to Nara, and I'll give an honest review of what I thought of Kyoto. It's awesome, eh? Like, it's just so many different historical sites. I feel like you could spend a long time going and looking at everything, which I haven't done yet. It will drain your bank account a little bit if you want to go look at everything, because like some of those temple areas, it's like you'd enter a temple compound with like lots of different sites to see, and each one costs you like 500 yen each, which, like, 500 yen isn't a lot of money, but once you're doing it again and again and again, it'll add up. So you can end up spending like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 yen just going to go look at one temple complex. And you do that a couple times a day. By the end of the day you spend quite a lot of money, really. But yeah, no, the city's beautiful, the town area is really beautiful. But like, I went out on a Friday night and it wasn't really that busy. Like, there's so many bars, but most of them are empty on Friday night anyway. I didn't go out on Saturday because it was too hungover, but on the Friday night it was pretty quiet. There was one bar that really had people in it, so I went there and I ended up having a good time anyway. But yeah, it's not like the most exciting place, but I mean, you don't really come to Kyoto for the nightlife, right? You come to Kyoto for the historical sites. And in terms of the historical sites and like the traditional neighborhoods and everything, it is really, really fascinating, really interesting. All right, calm down. Calm down.